Oh, yes, I got my own microphone, that's luxury. No, not salvaged. I use all kind of wood, and it's nice if you have old wood, maybe 10, 15, 20 years old. That's great. That's actually why I brought this guitar. This one is made of wood that is 50,000 years old, really, and it's from New Zealand. And these 50,000 years ago, these trees were growing in New Zealand, north part of New Zealand, in the swamp area. So they had the roots were not going deep, but horizontal. And for some reason, they fell, and they fell into the swamp, which was an environment with not so much oxygen. Now, usually wood doesn't last, it rots away, it decays, and nothing is left. This was in the peat swamps for 50,000 years, and now they are taking these logs, which are very, very big trees, out of the ground, and it's still actually wood that you can work. So I didn't make it for anybody special, just because I was interested in that stuff. Because with guitar makers, we talk about 100, 150 years old wood. This is 50,000. Come on.
How did you get your hands on this wood?
Well, I just ordered from New Zealand and waited for 2 months, and then it came by mail. And it has all these substances from the swamp inside. So it's not really wood that I would choose to make a guitar for the sound, because really it's brittle, and it has changed over all these years. But I can, if you want, I can play it later. But it's just a nice idea that you're hearing sounds from. Yeah, sure. Yeah. So I make jazz guitars. It's a hollow guitar, so it does have an acoustic sound, but it also has a pickup like on Rick's guitars. But this one is not like much of his guitars. This one is hollow. Playing in Carnegie Hall. Like I said, I try to use the best wood I have, but I think it doesn't necessarily mean that if you use all wood that your guitar sounds better. It's the skill of the maker, and of course the player that plays it that produces the sound.
Yeah, and I'm curious because he did mention that some are like factory made or like mass made. Do you think it's something which you see changing in the next 10 or so years, or do you think it's something which people will always be requiring people to be making?
I think that factory guitars are great, but if you're looking for something specific with a story, I think individual guitar makers will still be around, and in fact it's a really great time now to be a maker, because there is a good interest in handmade guitars. People get involved in the process. You talk with them beforehand, what they want, what they need, how the guitar should look. And when I make the guitar, I send pictures, so they sort of grow, with the guitar. Maybe you do it too. And so with my guitars, I'm very lucky to say that because of that process, they become almost members of the family. They are passed on to children, and the people have written them into their last will. That they become really important, and that can only happen, I think, with a handmade guitar with a story behind it. like I said, it's three factors. It's the guitar maker, but it's also the wood, and it's also the player. And I'll tell you a story about Chet Atkins. You've heard about him probably. He was playing his guitar, and somebody came along and listened and said to Chet, "Wow, that's a great guitar, man." And then Chet stopped playing, and he waited for 20 seconds, and he said, "I don't hear anything." I mean, it's the player as much as the guitar, you know, it's a combination. And of course, the player gets inspired when he's playing a guitar that really gives a good vibe. You get a sort of symbiosis or something like that works, but it's a combination of factors, always.